Welcome to Clean With Me podcast. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Ronnie.
This is a podcast where we literally walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey everybody, Jessica here, and I know a lot of you have the day off today, so why not use that to catch up on chores? So this is going to be a whole house catch-up day. Let's get started. First of all, I want you guys to get ready for your cleaning sessions. So whatever you find motivates you the most. For me, I have to start getting ready at a productive time so that I will it's just getting your blood pumping, moving. If you have to take a walk in the morning or just taking a shower, throwing some cold water on your face, drinking a cup of coffee, whatever it is that gets your blood pumping, let's go ahead and do that. That way we're up and moving, and then we're going to work on getting the machines running. I like to think of it as, the machines are all working for me, the dishwasher, the washing machine, the dryer. I want to get all of those running if they are available to me and working. If you hand wash, that's fine too. Whatever. Let's just get the washer and dryer going then. Let's do a laundry switch. If you don't have a whole lot of time on your hands and you just want to do rags or towels or something easy to fold, let's get that going. And then move the clothes from the washer to the dryer and from the dryer to a laundry basket. And then we're going to work on the dishes, whether it's a buildup from yesterday or just breakfast mess and you only have a couple things. First thing I want you guys to do is anything that's going to be kind of a hassle to clean, whether that be pots, pans, just anything caked on. Let's go ahead and put some hot water and soap in that. Let it soak while we're doing the easy stuff. And then we're going to do our empty reload and run of the dishwasher if you have one. If not, let's empty the drying rack and start with our pre-rinse and hand washing. My dishwasher isn't really the best, so I pretty much hand wash most of my stuff and then I let it do a cycle. It's kind of just sanitization. It doesn't really clean. So, I like having like I've talked about, my favorite thing that I use for bathrooms, not the same one, obviously. I have a different one that I keep in the bathroom, and one in the kitchen, it's the soap dispensing sponges. They have them at Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Walmart. All different types. I have religiously used those for most of my adult life, and a lot of my cleaning routine has changed dramatically over the years, but that's something that has stayed the same. I've always enjoyed using those. And I always keep a surplus of the extra sponge heads. They just slide on and off, and they're pretty affordable too, and I like keeping those under the sink. I always try to keep those stocked, and Clorox wipes, because for me, when I have the stuff that I like to clean with, I'm more likely to clean. I enjoy wiping stuff down with the Clorox wipes. I know some people might not like them because they're a little bit wasteful, but there's just something about them that it just makes it easier for me to clean, and it just makes it more enjoyable for me. And just find those little things, little products, little things that, it may be worth the extra couple dollars if it motivates you to clean your house more. So you should be done setting things to soak now. So let's go ahead and start emptying and putting away our clean dishes, whether that be from a drying rack, dishwasher, or both. And also, if your little gremlins are home from school today, you can have them collect dishes from around the house so that your sink doesn't fill up as soon as you're done with the dishes from dishes that you missed. If you're by yourself, no problem. Just go around the house, grab everything you can. Look in your refrigerator. I always make it a habit now to check my refrigerator for leftover containers, whatnot, that need to be soaked before I start my cleaning process. And while you guys are working on the dishes, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about motivation. I am starting to get back into the swing of things. It was hard for me to adapt because I've been working less now, and it seems like I should have a lot more time to clean, which technically I do, but it's been harder for me to keep the house clean, I feel like, because any just major change in your day-to-day is definitely going to affect your cleaning habits, and I'm in the house a lot more. It's really hard to self-motivate when you're used to having a very routine, very predictable schedule, and then that kind of gets flipped upside down. Now it's really all over the place. So it was hard for me to stay productive until I got myself back kind of on a rigid routine. And it may sound boring or predictable, but I'm telling you, I'm so much more happy and productive, and my house is cleaner, and I just am overall just way better off whenever I have some kind of routine where I'm getting up early. I'm, taking a shower first thing when I wake up. I have a plan, a system of doing things. So sticking to that really is important for me personally. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or super rigid, just some kind of routine is important. Otherwise, you're going to just keep making excuses in your head for why you're going to put it off. Oh, I'm just going to wait until right before the kids get off school, or whatever your excuse is. And then next thing you know, that time creeps up on you. You've been laying in bed all day. You haven't got your blood pumping. You haven't gotten anything done, and you're putting it off until the next day. So try to stay in a routine of some sort. And just be working on those dishes while I talk. Make sure if there's anything that needs to be wiped down in the refrigerator as we're taking stuff out, maybe you could just give it a quick wipe down. That's what those Clorox wipes are great for. If not, just a wet soapy rag would do fine. For those of you with small kids that may be home today, or big kids that may be home today that make messes, or no kids and you just have a mess, but I'm letting my kids make a big mess in one area so that I can work on my other areas. I like to kind of keep them in one room, and for me, that just works better because it gets really overwhelming when I'm like, say, doing the dishes and they're just ransacking the entirety of the house, because it looks overwhelming. It makes you not want to continue cleaning because you're like, oh, they're just destroying it behind me. Oh, well, So I found that if I kind of keep them in the bedroom and tell them, don't take any toys out of your room. Like right now, for example, I have them outside and my backyard is covered in mud and they are covered in mud. And will that be something I have to clean up? Yes, but you know what? If I have to wipe down a bathroom after I hose them down and I got the whole house clean, or I got my podcast done. I live in a neighborhood where I have to, monitor them. Obviously, I'm sitting right outside the door watching them. But, if you have older kids and you can send them in the backyard, that's awesome. Let them get muddy. Let them get the toys out in their room, which I'll get to how you can keep them from completely ransacking their room when they're playing, when I get to the rooms later. But the point is just try to consolidate them to one room and tell them, I don't want anything going past this point. Also, it's really frustrating when you're doing a big kitchen overhaul, you're doing all these mountain of dishes, and then people are in the house. If you are from a big household, or maybe you just have people staying with you, or any just kids, they like to snack during the day and get every dish dirty. My mom used to have a system where we'd all have like a different colored cup, and if she saw a certain color, she knew it was a certain kid. And that way we weren't using every cup in the house every 5 seconds. Every time we wanted water, we weren't getting a new cup, basically. Or you could just do a system where, hey, you guys, if you want a different drink in this cup, say you're drinking milk and you want water, you wash out that cup. You're responsible. If you have older kids, you can tell them they're responsible for washing out the cup and using it for water instead of getting a new one over and over again for different things. closing the kitchen for business, not letting them constantly snack. And if they are, they need to be cleaning their dishes. If they want snacks throughout the day, they need to clean their own dishes if it's not a normal meal time. And really enforcing that rule is going to keep them from doing it if you're consistent. And every time you see them using up dishes in between meal times, get onto them and make them, wash them themselves, hand wash them and put them up. Now, if you have a big mountain of dishes, keep working on that. If you have other areas of your kitchen and dining room that really need tending to, like there's a lot of trash, miscellaneous junk, a hot spot that needs to be put up, maybe your dining room table is a place where people just tend to set things down and it's got a lot of miscellaneous stuff on there and that's what you need to tackle today. Or maybe it's your floor. Maybe there's just stuff all over the floor. Let's start with trash. Grab your trash can wherever it hides, wherever you put it, and let's take it out and just kind of I like to carry it around the kitchen and just throw everything away when it's a disaster. I go around the dining room, the floor, the refrigerator, the freezer. I just get all the major areas and I throw away all the trash. I change the lining, and if you're still working on dishes, no problem there. This is just if you're done with dishes. And I mean, sometimes I use up my whole kitchen time to do just dishes. So, no judgment at all. It takes me a little while to do the dishes because it's not my favorite chore. So, once I get going, I knock them out, but it takes me a little bit to get in the rhythm of things, And I think it was because it was my chore growing up that I don't like it. I don't know. Me and my mom are kind of talking about that the other day, that she always had to do the dishes growing up and she doesn't like it. And I think her not liking it made me not like it because my husband really likes doing the dishes. That's one of the chores he enjoys. And he doesn't like laundry, whereas I like laundry. But that's probably because he wasn't in charge of doing all the dishes in his house growing up, maybe. I don't know. Whatever the reason, we all have chores that we kind of, I don't want to do that. And those are the things that we should be knocking out first and making sure that we're forcing ourselves to do above everything else, because if you put it to last, it's not going to be done and we're going to find excuses. So moving on, once you're done with the trash, you've replaced the liner. If your trash can is really gross and you need to wipe it down, put some gloves on and do that. That's another thing I love to have on hand is rubber gloves. Not everyone has a surplus of rubber gloves laying around at all times. I do because my husband used to do crime scene cleanup, so we still have a bunch of rubber gloves from when he used to do that, and they're super heavy duty. But anyway, I always have them underneath my kitchen area where all the cleaning supplies go and in the bathroom because I heavily use them when I'm cleaning. It just helps me get, down into things a little bit better. So you don't have to worry about getting your hands dirty or just, if your trash can's filthy, you throw on a pair of gloves and you get in there with some disinfecting wipes and wipe it down. Or if it's real bad, you can take it outside, hose it down, set it upside down, let it dry in the sun. And if you don't have that issue, maybe your trash can is up against a wall and there's some splatter from people throwing stuff in the trash can or something. Maybe you need to wipe down that wall. And speaking of wiping down when you're done with trash as a whole, let's go ahead and get wipe down happy, as I like to call it. Again, if you're still doing the dishes, just keep working on those. If you're still picking up, just work on getting everything out of the way for the wipe down. The wipe down is going to be the last step in the kitchen besides sweeping. And we want to get as much surface area as possible, as much clutter as possible out of the way. So if there's any appliances that we don't usually use on a regular basis, whether it's like a blender, a toaster, something that we could put in a cabinet, let's go ahead and try to do that. Sometimes we have more storage than in some areas of your house than others. One thing about the rent house I'm in right now is they have a lot of storage, and I'm used to none from my old house, so I really enjoy that. And that could be a dangerous thing too. You don't want to stuff things. You don't want to put things where they don't belong. We still want to put things where they go and not just shove things in drawers. Oh my goodness. My kids are so muddy right now. I'm watching from outside the window, and they're ridiculously muddy. That's going to be fun later. Anyway, moving on. So we want to put things where they go. Just go one area at a time and just, chip away at it, whether it's your table. Go to the worst area and just start chipping away trash first, then putting things away where they go. If you're putting things away and you're realizing that there's a cabinet or a problem area in your kitchen, pantry, what have you, if it's something you can quickly wipe up or vacuum up or sweep up, please do. If it's a bigger problem, an organizational problem, then put it on the list to do as a bonus chore as soon as you get any free time. And again, the goal is making room for that really thorough wipe down. And then once you have everything cleared off and everything put away and the dishes done, then we're going to get wiped down happy. We're not going to neglect behind the sink. We're not going to neglect the refrigerator handles, sink handles, light switches, walls, splatter from high chairs, splatter on high chairs and the crevices, underneath tables, maybe your chairs on your table, little sticky hands are getting to it. We're going to just thoroughly wipe down everything, starting from one end of the kitchen and working our way down. If your microwave is above your stovetop, you might want to get that first. Get the inside of your microwave. If you have one of those little glass dishes in your microwave that needs to be washed, you could do that at this time. I actually don't have a microwave right now. I need to buy one so bad. But I just have an air fryer, so I try to clean it when I use it, but that doesn't always happen. So I always check the air fryer, do a little wipe down if it needs one, clean it. That's my microwave. Oven handles, the burners, the backsplash behind the oven. A lot of times you can get grease splatter if you're a big chef and you're cooking a lot in your house. There's definitely going to be some splatter behind the oven. So that's something to not neglect. And I want you just to wipe down anything and everything you see. Again, start on one end, cabinets, everything, nothing's off limits. If you see a spot, you wipe it down. Even if you don't, if it's just a little bit dusty, wipe it down. If it's something that's a high traffic area that gets touched a lot, a knob, a door, something like that, let's go ahead and wipe it down. I have white cabinets that were painted with a cheap paint, and they get really dusty really quickly. So it's something that I have to wipe down regularly, or they look dirty. And the longer you let the dust accumulate and you're not wiping it down, the harder it is to clean. It gets really into those cracks and stuck on that paint. And while we're talking about wiping down walls and stuff, I am not sponsored by this by any means, would love to be, but the Pink Stuff, it's this little tub of paste. It is so good for, pretty much anything. Your kid writes on your wall, use the Pink Stuff. It doesn't take off the paint. My husband did not believe in it. I bought it and he thought it was gimmicky, and the kids had drawn on the walls, and I was like, watch, no, it works so well. And he's like, yeah, right, you're going to chip off the paint. The paint's super cheap. Just repaint. He was trying to tell me to repaint, which we were going to do. And I was like, let me try this first when we were moving. Cheapest paint possible on the walls, and it took off the pin with hardly any elbow grease. It was amazing. So I have that, and it goes a long way. I've had the same tub for a while because I'm not using it like crazy, but scuff marks on the door gets them off great. If you have animals jumping on your door and leaving little black scuff marks, that gets it off really good. Pen, anything on the walls, food, even dust accumulation in the cabinets. Like I said, that's kind of hard to get off. That pink stuff is great for it. And again, we get sponsored by stuff and sometimes, but I wouldn't talk about this stuff if I didn't absolutely love it, because I am not getting paid to talk about it. So, I mean, definitely want to put you guys on to that. So, if you don't have that, then a little, a hot rag and some dish soap will still do its job with some elbow grease, but it's a lot easier with that stuff. So after you're done doing your thorough wipe down, if you need more time in the kitchen, please rewind, pause, or just keep cleaning along in the kitchen as I talk. But if you put a lot of crumbs and whatnot on the floor and you just need to do a quick spot sweep, we'll do a more thorough sweep and mop at the end of the episode. I will remind you. But that's just so we're not tracking stuff to other rooms. Let's go ahead and just do a quick little spot sweep of the major crumbs that we brushed on the floor when we were doing our wipe down. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to our living area. And first thing I want you to do in the living area, if you haven't already, open up those windows, light some candles, create the mood, if you will, the cleaning mood. Make yourself a little more cheery by letting some light in. Sometimes if we're not feeling well, we're not feeling productive, we probably aren't getting vitamin D, drinking enough water, moving, I try to think about those things like, why do I feel so bad? And then I'll be like, okay, I haven't gone outside in 2 days. I haven't drank barely any water. And I've been sitting on my couch and my house is a wreck and I'm in chaos. That's gonna be enough to stress you out, right? So letting some light in while you're cleaning is definitely good. And that way you can also see how you're cleaning and what you're cleaning. So let's start with the focal point of the room, the couches, living area. If you have rugs that need to be brushed off, maybe you need to go outside and hit them against something. Maybe you just need to vacuum them. Maybe I have a smaller rug and wood flooring, so I just kind of shake it off and put it to the side over a chair or something while I'm cleaning. And I do that with my rug that is the welcome mat. And then, like I said, I like to fix the pillows, the blankets on my couch, to get the focal point of the room looking nice. If it needs a quick vacuuming, I usually like to do a once over and vacuum underneath the couch cushions. It usually needs it. Even if we're not spending a lot of time in the living area, it always needs a little bit of a once over with a vacuum usually. And then I like to I have a hardwood floor, so it's easy for me to move my couch. Not everybody has an easily movable couch. You might have a big sectional or something. If you want to use like your broom as a tool to get stuff out from underneath your couch, you can do that. And I just like to make, if I make it a regular thing when I'm cleaning my house to check underneath the couches and stuff, then they don't get overwhelming. But if you have a lot of stuff under your couch, I promise you, even if it's completely full of stuff, it'll probably only take you 10 minutes at the very most to tackle it. And that's really any major problem area in your house. Once you start tackling it, even if you have a hoarding situation in a room. I had a big disaster in the kids' room, and I will talk about that once we get to bedrooms, but I tackled that a couple days ago, and I had let it go for a little bit, and it didn't take me near as long to get it done as I thought it was going to. So once we're done with the couch, I want you guys to just do a general pickup of the living areas and hallway. Just put trash in the trash bin and pick up everything else and put it where it goes. If you have any cluttery spots like end tables, dining room, or not dining room tables, coffee tables, what have you, that have accumulated stuff. I have a big ugly safe in my living room. And sometimes we set stuff on top of that safe. You know, any surface you're going to probably end up setting stuff on if it doesn't have little decorations. which is a good tactic to keep people from setting stuff on there, is keeping little knickknacks. But we don't want to get too cluttery, so there's going to be blank surfaces in your house, and they're going to accumulate stuff sometimes, and that's okay. We're just going to, again, work on one area of the living area and just work your way forward and just clean up surfaces as you come to them, working on one at a time, knocking them out, and moving on to the next. And the floor is also a surface, so, go pick up everything you possibly can, and we are going to do the major floor clean at the end of the episode. Again, I will remind you. But once you're done doing your living area, and again, if this is an area that needs extra time or attention, you spend as much time as you need in there. I just don't have a big problem with the living area lately because I've been keeping my kids wrangled in the back room, and that is what we're going to talk about, is the back bedroom. So whatever bedroom in your house needs the most attention, whether that be your room, a kid's room, a closet, we're going to tackle it. So let's go ahead and move into a bedroom at this time. And like I said, my kids' bedroom was ridiculous. I mean, they had dumped out every toy box. There was furniture tipped over, meaning like their little play kitchens and stuff. They had destroyed this room because I had a cleaning day and they were wrangled up in the room all day. And let me tell you, okay, they're they were taking posts out of their kid bed. Why? I don't know, to make a tent. Now, this is with supervision. They were not unsupervised. I just kind of let it happen, And some days you just need to let them take a room. But then when it comes to tackling that room, you just start with one area. So what I did is I just started with the beds first. I cleared off the beds, made the beds, washed the sheets. So let's go ahead and do that. If you need to wash the sheets, let's grab all the sheets and put them in a spot where they're going to be next priority to clean. If you have a change of sheets, you can just go ahead and put them on. If you do not and you only have, a couple for that bed or something and you do need to wash them, that's just next priority. That's fine. If you just need to make the bed, that's fine as well. And then we are going to move on to the floor and tackling the floor. Start on one corner and just start picking up. I like to start with trash first. If a room is real bad, I'll grab a trash can or a trash bag and I'll start on one corner of the room and work my way forward. That's what I did with this disaster area of a room. And organization, picking up, that's going to be last. You just deal with trash and throwing stuff away. And that included throwing away some major toys. Anything broken got thrown away. Dolls with face, the Barbie movie came out. The weird Barbies, some of those got tossed. I kept a couple weird Barbies, but some of them got thrown away. The ones that were completely Sharpied over, they got thrown away with bald spots. And, the kids avoid them. They don't like playing with them. It's just more mess. So after I picked up all the trash and I, again, started on one corner with the pickup and started picking up, I started underneath one of the beds, picking up, and then underneath the other bed. And the reason why I did that when the room was such a disaster, instead of just getting the main area first, I've done it different ways before in different orders. But the reason I did it this way this time is because I knew in my heart that if I started with the main area and made it look nice and didn't get under the beds first, that I would just leave it like that because it was such a big mess. So I went ahead and just took everything out from underneath the bed and put it in the main floor area because I was like, might as well just tackle it all at once. And, whatever works better in your brain, if that's going to overwhelm you, do not do that. Just work on one area at a time. But I was already overwhelmed and the room was already a big mess. So I was like, I'm just going to take a broom and get everything out from underneath the bed, put it in the middle of the floor. And I did it one bed at a time. They have two beds in the room. So I just, I took everything out from under one bed, put all that stuff away, threw away all that trash, and then I did it with the next bed. And then I worked on one side of the room and worked my way to the front. Then I started organizing. I got some extra storage bins from the garage, and I broke up their toys a little more than they already were. So, I put dolls in one, play stuff in one, and this helps with making it easier for them not to destroy your mess. And if you're cleaning your bedroom, again, with clothing, anything that needs organization, the more you're breaking it up and separating it, and the more organized it is, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to find the thing, and the less digging you're going to do, because we're making messes when we're digging for toys, digging for clothes, because things are piled up in drawers, and that's how things get really out of hand and just a big mess, right? So the more organized you make things and the more you keep it that way, the easier it's going to be to find stuff, the easier it's going to be to maintain that. And that's for little kids too, even if they're doing a kid room. If they don't have to dig for their favorite Barbie doll and dump out a whole toy box, they're not going to. They're just going to play with it. And let me tell you, the kids covered in mud was a little alarming at first, but I'm thinking it was a good decision because they aren't tearing up their room that I just overhauled the other day. And all I have to do is hose them down. And the window. But highly recommend making mud houses for your children while you clean. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, just chip away at it. Start with small sections if it's easier for your brain to process it. Start with small sections of your room. Throw away broken stuff. Don't hold on to things that you don't need to hold on to. For example, my kids have multiple doll houses, right? One of their doll houses, they had broken multiple pieces in the dollhouse and it just didn't look good anymore. It got tossed. And yes, it was a really crazy nice dollhouse one day a long time ago, but I got it for really cheap at Goodwill and it was broken. And sometimes we hold on to stuff because we're like, man, that was a great find. That was expensive when I bought it, but does it serve you anymore? Do you use it, or is it just taking up space? And if your answer is it's just been sitting there for months, it's taken up space, I don't even use it, I don't wear it, let's get rid of it. Again, you can use that box system that I do with my closet for toys as well. If a kid isn't using something, wearing something, you can have your teenagers do it, your kids do it, your spouse do it. Have a box for them to put stuff and then revisit in a couple months. And if they haven't touched it, used it, what have you, it gets donated. Now, last thing I want you guys to do is a straightening of a bathroom that needs the most attention. And we're going to do the same basic process that we always do. First thing first, we're going to throw away all the trash in the bathroom that needs thrown away. Then we're going to replace the trash and replace the liner. And after you replace the liner, we're going to organize, put stuff away, put stuff in the proper places. If you need more organizational tools, we're going to get those containers and we're going to organize. And then we're going to get wiped down happy. We're going to put on gloves. We're going to start with the least dirty thing, the mirror. And we're going to clean that with some Windex, and we're going to move down to the sink, the cabinets, the toilet. We're going to wipe everything thoroughly down. I love using Clorox wipes for the bathroom most of all. And then we're going to get the bathtub. If you have a well-ventilated bathroom, get the shower damp with the shower head and then sprinkle some Ajax over it, let it sit for a while, and then scrub it with a sponge. I like using one with a long handle for the bathtub. You can get more reach. You don't have to get really down and dirty in there. And I let that bleach do its job. You got to let it sit for a little bit. Same thing with the toilet. I like using the spray nozzle that squirts underneath the toilet seat and letting that bleach do its job as well before I scrub it with something with a long handle as well. And then once you're done cleaning your restroom, if you have another restroom to tackle, you can do that. I don't want you guys to forget to switch your laundry. you probably need to do another load of laundry, and then we're going to do a thorough whole house floor pickup, one room at a time. We're going to do, or a floor clean, we're going to do a sweep of, if you work better doing one room at a time, sweep, mop kitchen, sweep, mop living area, or vacuum, and going like that, then do that. Or if you work better, if you have a smaller house like mine and you just like tackling the whole entire house at once, I do a sweep of the entire house, all the areas I cleaned, the bedroom, the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom, and then I do a whole house mop, and that's just easier for me than room to room. Some days it's better to do room to room, and I just start with the living area and work my way back in case I don't get to it. But after you're done with all that, get the laundry that you took out of the dryer, and while those machines are still running, I want you guys to fold the laundry that we took out of the dryer and put it away. And that's going to be your little break. You get to put your feet up for a minute, watch your favorite show, listen to a laundry podcast if you have a lot of laundry to do, and a laundry episode, and just tackle that laundry. I hope you guys got some major cleaning done today. I hope you at least did a whole house straighten and pick up and got everything at least put up and ready for a deeper clean. Maintenance cleaning is very important, especially when you get a little freebie day like today, like a lot of us got. Let's try to use it. Let's try to be productive today. I hope you guys got a lot done. If not, please, if you still have a lot to do and you still feel the juices flowing, you're still, very motivated in a cleaning mode, let's go ahead and start another podcast. It could be a 20-minute one, and just, it could be the topic of whatever area you're working in, bedroom, bathroom, whatever needs extra attention, and let's just keep that momentum going. Thank you guys so much for listening, and as always, happy cleaning.